Hello everybody, welcome to day 20 and a yummy, scrummy festoon of bling. And by bling, I generally mean I want you to get everything out of your cupboard that is shiny, glittery, zazzy, or anything that just makes you smile. Because that's what bling is all about. It's about how much can you throw at something, how much alternative colours can arrive on a page. Bling is like these little moments of, oh, I don't know, Indian summers or African Saharis. Saharis? What's a Sahari? I don't know. A combination of a safari and a sari is a Sahari. I've just made that word up. Anyway, I tell you what I'm going to do. I've left the video a little bit longer today because I wanted to talk about something later on, so we'll get there when we get there, but I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I use a number of different products on this, very intentionally so, and I will tell you why. I start with watercolors. That's my foundation. Watercolors are going to be able to give me some matte color down on my page straight away. And they're not going to be overpowering. Watercolors are never overpowering. They're never in your face. They're just kind of the backdrop. They're like the soft curtains behind a stage, and where all of the other things can now take place. So in order that I keep the watercolors kind of separate from each other, I'm going to use a heat gun in between different layers to just kind of settle it before I put something on top of it. So I start with some bands of colour in watercolour, just my normal watercolours, and I get that down. That's the first kind of thing that I play with. And then I move on to something called Inktense. Now, Inktense is a weird old product. Inktense is ink in a stick, and you use it a bit like a watercolor in that you put your paintbrush into water and you take a little bit of the Inktense. But, and here's the really awesome thing, it doesn't reignite. So if you want like the quality of a watercolor but really quite rich and it won't kind of reblend again, Inktense is your thing. They're not particularly cheap, I have to own, but you can get 1 or 2 sticks fairly reasonably. If you don't have any Inktense, you could just use a little tiny bit of acrylic paint, but make sure it's kind of fluid, so it's got a little bit of water behind it. So the watercolors come first. That's what you can still see me doing here. And the lighting wasn't particularly good, so it's harder for you to see the pale colors, but watercolor first. And then comes Inktense, and alongside that, my metallic watercolors. Now, I can't tell you how many times I have to repeat this to people, but metallic watercolors should never be used just on their own. Metallic watercolors are always supposed to be an overlay. They go over other watercolors. They never stand up on their own just as a painting. And so projects like this are a really good opportunity to get those lovely watercolors out, those metallics, and just using the shape of your brush, you can create some lovely little marks. And that's another thing that this project is great for. It's great for really getting you involved with your mark making skills. Mark making should never take a long time. Repetitive mark making, it's just simple little dots, little crosses, little lines, using the shape of your paintbrush to really support something to happen. So you can see me doing that now with the Inktense. I'm using those Inktense paints to just create little moments of colour on these already bands of colour. So watercolour first, Inktense and metallics next. And then I've got these crazy, highly pigmented metallic acrylic paints that I bought from a site that rhymes with emu. And I know it's a bit of a kind of place where some people agree with it, some people don't. I happen to have some products from the site that rhymes with emu. And so if that makes me a bad person, well, there we go. But I get some of those out, and again, I'm using those to just make tiny little moments on this piece of artwork, just little accents here and there using those acrylic paints. And then I dry it all off. I get it really dry, and I finally come in with just a very tiny little bit of black. And that's because we want these colours to really pop at this stage. We've got lots and lots of different colours going on, and very much like an Indian colour palette, really. The Indian colour contrast colour palette's very different from European colour palettes. All sorts of clashy colours working against each other and alongside each other, and just having a little bit of black to settle it all down and make those colours pop is just what's needed. So I come in with a little bit of black pen right at the end, not a lot at all, just echoing round some of the shapes that are slightly harder to see on camera, but you'll see them in the photograph at the end. So that's what I do, right? Just to go over it again, watercolour first, followed by Inktense and metallic watercolours, followed by metallic acrylic paint, followed by a little bit of black pen, dry it all off, and there you've got your bling pebble. Beautiful. So, what did I want to talk to you about? Because I really wanted to keep enough video involved that I could have a chat with you all. I wanted to say thank you, a massive thank you. It's quite something when you go from having a really busy, quite active social media network, and then you take a couple of years out and you realize, boy, oh boy, of course, my social media has collapsed somewhat. And it's been a needed couple of years. It's been a needed space. It's been a needed reflective time for myself and for my co-host. We've needed that space. And then we've come back and we've relaunched back onto YouTube, and it's just been amazing. And what's been so heartening is on the Facebook community page, all of these pictures of pebbles are appearing every single day, and it's like walking along a beach. Every single morning I wake up and the first thing I do is I get onto the Facebook page and I just see these pebbles. And you know what? Creativity, play, art, whatever we want to call it, is nothing without people. It needs the people to arrive first. And so you are those people. It's absolutely amazing to be the rudder on the ship that you guys are all creating, steering the way forward. And so expect more, right? This month, it's all about these pebbles, really getting started again, started with something very, very simple, building up the skills again, building up the intention, building up even permission to play. And then next month, it's all about space. So stay tuned for next month, but keep going with this month. We're nearly there. We're nearly at the end of January. We're nearly at the end of this long beach full of pebbles. I'm going to see you all tomorrow.